Hey guys, welcome to my channel. The logistics of just creating these videos is a lot. It actually takes a lot of time, but all that aside, I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to finally be getting into it, to be getting into this beauty world that so many people have been asking for. So today's look is going to be a full-on glam, the one that I have on today. And yeah, I can't wait to get into it and be doing more videos with you guys. Okay, so let's get started. I always start with prepping and priming my face, especially moisturizing my lips because my lips are very, very dry. So for moisturizing my lips, I use the Eucerin Aqua 4 Soothing Skin Balm, and it's really, really good at like just keeping you moisturized throughout the day, especially if you're going to be using matte lipstick. I always find that matte lipsticks always like dry out my lips, and that just doesn't work for me. So I started with moisturizing my lips. I've obviously moisturized my face. And then I go in with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. And this is just a really lightweight primer, but I feel like it does like everything that I needed to do. And it helps my makeup just last longer throughout the day. Okay, so I apply my primer on my skin, on my cheeks especially, where I feel like I have more pores, well, bigger pores. And then on my chin. So this is just good for creating that base between your skin and the makeup or foundation that you're gonna apply. So obviously I'm gonna turn red. I'm gonna look like a little red tomato because I'm rubbing my skin and I'm rubbing it into my skin. And I take it all the way up to my, like just under my eyes, because it's just going to help my makeup look a little more refined. And I'm not going to be looking as sweaty throughout the day. So I put that on my forehead as well. I've already done my brows. I did my brows off camera because I just wanted to focus on the skin today. Okay, so once I've applied my primer, then I'm going to conceal the spots that I have, the pigmentation that I have on my face. So I've tried a lot of concealers, but I always find that I keep going back to the LA Girl Pro Concealer, and I am in the shade Fawn. So for my skin or the pigmentation on my cheeks, on my chin, I like to cover it up with the LA Girl Concealer. I feel like it's not too heavy also, especially if you're going to be putting foundation on top of this. So then once I have placed in the spots that I want to conceal, then I just blend it in. I'm gonna go in with concealer once again, and where I have a bit of a breakout on my chin. And then now I'm just gonna tap the product into the skin. So that way I'm not shifting it and it's staying in one area, the specific area that I want to conceal. Okay, then a bit of redness by my nose. And that's it for concealer. And today I'm going to be using the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation with an SPF of 15. And I am in the shade Golden. I always like using foundations that give me a bit of a tan because I like that golden look. So let me just put a bit of the product on the back of my hand just to like warm it up. And then I will take a flat brush and just put that all around all my face. A bit on my forehead as well. And the trick to having your foundation not, especially around your forehead, around your hairline, the trick to not having it look like it's super heavy is to put very little product. Like put the product in the center of your forehead and don't spread it out. Then when you blend it in, because there isn't a lot of product on the brush, it's not going to look like there's you're wearing a mask basically. And for this, I'm just using a full compact brush because I feel like that's just gonna help me let the product settle into the skin well. Alternatively, you could always use a stippling brush. I think this helps with, like, if you want a look that's more glowy, so a stippling brush will always work. I really like the Mina foundation, the foundation finish brush 202. This is a really good stippling brush. Alternatively, I like using the Real Techniques brushes, and this is the powder brush. Yeah, this is the buffing brush. So if you feel like you need a little bit more coverage, and I love coverage, we are all about that full coverage life. Okay, so if you feel like you need a little bit more coverage, then just put a little bit more product, or you feel like you do need the coverage, and then the dabbing motion again with your full compact brush. Blend your foundation by your brows. You want to make sure that it blends well with the concealer that you'd used to clean up your brows. Okay, so you blend that in, making sure that you don't have any patchy bits, because you want to make sure that your cream base is really blended in well, because once you set it, it's not possible for it to shift and for you to blend it properly after that. And whatever cream you apply on your face, especially during the summertime, you really want to just set it so it doesn't also melt and transfer onto a lot of things as well. Okay, so foundation done, and today I'm going to be using the yellow color corrector. Most times if I don't want a full glam, like super bright under eye, then I mix my yellow color corrector with the shade Fawn, also LA Gold Pro concealers. So I'm just highlighting the parts of my face where the sun hits, and that's my chin, my nose, not too much product. And you want to do it in like a triangular shape. Well, this is the shape that works well for my face, but obviously different shape faces are going to be highlighted and concealed or contoured in different ways. Concealing, is this a concealing brush? It's a concealer brush, and I'm just going to blend that in. So I always start with blending the product, well, the concealer that's on my forehead first, because if you start with your under eyes, that's where you have the most amount of product. So if you move from your under eyes to your forehead, it's going to be difficult to blend in the product that's on your forehead because there's going to be a lot of product on your brush, and it's not going to give you that good contoured look that you are wanting. Alright, so I end off with my nose. So I'm going to start by dabbing under my eyes as well. And I'm using a dabbing motion because I don't want to move the product. I want it to settle exactly where you had put it, and want it to give you that same triangular shape because it enhances your features. Okay, so once you pull the product out, you definitely want to blend the ends as well. So whatever you do to the one side of your face, you do to the other. Alright, so for my nose contour, I'm going to go in with a smaller brush because I just want better precision there. And then I take the same brush that I'd used before, and I just go. So if you feel like you don't trust yourself when it comes to brushes, you could always use a beauty blender. With beauty blenders, a lot of people actually find beauty blenders easier, but I just find that using actual tools like brushes, different brushes for different purposes, just works out better for me, but obviously it's all a preference thing. Okay, so on my powder brush, I just put a little bit of product for setting my under eyes and wherever I highlight my face. And I use the Ben Nye powder in the shade Banana. I find that that's been the best, like for full glam looks, that's been the best. But you can always use a translucent powder. I know the Yardley has really good translucent powder for different skin tones, but this just helps bring out my natural yellow undertone by my under eyes. So I blend it up again, and as soon as I've blended it up, I apply the setting powder. And I'm not going to apply too much. The amount of time that I use to set my face, I always judge it according to how long I want my makeup to be on my face. Like, how long do you want your makeup to last? And if you want it to last longer, then you're obviously gonna bake for longer because you want it to be set for longer. And I don't want to put too much product, but I pack the product into my skin instead of just like putting it on top. I pack it, and I find that it really gives me that refined look afterwards. So once you've put it on your under eyes, I'm gonna put it on my nose, forehead, basically wherever you had highlighted your face. Roll with the cream. Okay, so I'm gonna let that sit for a while because I just wanted to absorb all the moisture also. And while I wait for that, I'm gonna go over to my eyelids, and I'm not gonna do anything too hectic, just a creased eye, a bit of a shadow. I always use the same concealer that I used for concealing my pigments, my pigmentation. I use that as a base for my eye makeup. So I'm gonna apply a bit of product on my lids, and then go in with a brush that you feel you're comfortable with and just blend that in. Then once I'm done, I always use this palette. This is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collaboration. And as you can see, like, I use this a lot on myself almost every day and on my clients as well. So I'm gonna go in with a dark brown color, this color over here, and I'm gonna mix these two together. And on the outer corners of my eyes, I'm just gonna create a bit of an ombre effect. The outer corners of my eye. This is actually an eye makeup look that I've gotten a lot of requests for, now that I think about it. But then again, it's a look that I always go to, like when I don't feel like being super creative, but I still want to look good. This is definitely it. Brushes, eye makeup brushes. I always think it's about preference. I don't think that there's a specific brush that you need to use for specific things. It's always what you're comfortable with, and obviously it has to be smaller brushes because your eye is a smaller surface area. I think whenever people ask me to help them, like teach them how to do their makeup and do like different looks, this is what people always shy away from, the blending bit, because it actually takes a lot of time, but once you're done, it's super worth it. So I'm just gonna clean it up on the sides here because I feel like That's gone a bit too low. Okay, so you have that nice ombre effect. If you want it to look a little darker in the corners, then you just go in with a darker shade of brown or even a bit of black, and you just deposit that in the corner. Obviously you blend that in so it still blends in with the, it still looks good with the brown that you had. Okay, so we're gonna go in with a flat brush and we're gonna create our creased eye. You can use whatever concealer that you like for your creased eye. It can be the same concealer that you used for the rest of your face. It's not really a big deal, but the trick is not to put too much product on your brush. And then you just do like a half moon. So already it stands out so much better. If you want like a creased eye that's a little brighter, I like using these palettes. So my mirror is broken with this palette, but it's called the DI Cosmetics palettes. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's called Pinup Girls, and it just has really nice like different shimmer tones. So I'm gonna go in with the gold and the champagne color. It's gonna bring that color just to a slightly elevated level. So then obviously you can see that the darker color, you've kind of gone over it. So I take the same brush that I'd used for my darker color and I just bring it back slightly, just so I'm slightly like blending it in. Okay, so we're doing the same thing to the other eye. And we're just gonna blend that in, blend it in to our concealer. And because we put the concealer in the shape that we wanted our creased eye to look, it keeps that shape. And the brighter metallic color just pops a bit more. So basically I'm using the exact same colors that I showed you for the one side on the other. Okay, so this is kind of taking shape. It's kind of looking the way that I wanted it to look. It's not too dramatic. Can work with any outfit, any color outfit, because it's pretty much like neutrals and golds. Okay, great. So once you're done with the eyes, I'm just going to, because I've been setting my face this whole time, so I'm gonna go in with a stippling brush, and this is the Mina foundation finish brush, and I'm just gonna remove the excess powder from when I was baking my face. So this is for that airbrushed look. And what you can always do is, if you feel like this is not giving you enough coverage still, or you already have full coverage, but if you feel like this is not giving you the effects that you want with just the brush, then you can always pack it in with a powder puff, which I sometimes do actually for the sides of my face. Or wherever I tend to sweat a bit more, which is by my nose. There's so many methods that people use when it comes to like how they sweat by their brows, but I feel like this is the easiest and the most effective. Okay, so once you've put on the powder and you're looking a little more snatched, then I always like, because I like really bright under eyes, so I still go in with a packed yellow color, and I just distribute that just under my eyes still, because I find that yes, you've baked your under eyes and yes, you've concealed with a lighter concealer, but if you're doing an event and you still want to look a little more chiseled or a little more refined, then you still want your under eyes to be bright. So this is just to bring back us, but you're going to sweep back away. So you're going back and forth, but it really has a huge effect. So wherever you had put your highlight originally, and then you brush it off immediately. Okay, so your face is pretty much like contoured already, just from the way that you've highlighted your face. So that way you're not going to be using extra cream or extra powder for highlighting. But because I'm me and I like being extra, I'm still going to contour my face with a powder that's a shade darker. So I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation powder in the shade 355. Then I just go in with a brush, any brush that you haven't choose that doesn't have product on it, and you just bring your contour out a bit more. And then I like contouring just around my forehead. And this just also helps with flashback as well. The other thing that you really want to watch out for when it comes to flashback is the type of primer that you use. If you use a primer that has a high amount of SPF, that's probably going to create flashback. And primers with silicone also create flashback. Although they really help with filling in your pores, if you don't contour properly, if you don't put enough coverage on top of that, it's probably going to create flashback. Okay, so I put a little bit more powder. I just like contouring under my lip. That just gives me a fuller lip or lower lip. I really like a good contour. I mean, if you're going to contour, just go for it. Just do it. Just go the whole way. You know, you've already started, so you might as well. I've contoured my face. I just haven't contoured my nose. Then with my nose, I like a little more precision, obviously, because you want that good thin togetherness with your nose, for lack of a better term. And I like using a powder to contour because I feel like it's not as heavy. It'll still give you, you look like a better version of yourself as opposed to a completely transformed version of yourself. Contour the bottom bit of my nose as well. A little more product here. And if you're ready, your nose is just a little more snatched. Then, searching for a brush, then I'm just gonna blend that in. Because you do want to look contoured, but you don't want it to look like you're contoured. Okay. I'm sweeping over my face, just whatever is left on the brush. I didn't add more product. And then I'm gonna go to my eyes again, because then you need to apply. So I'm gonna do a completely different tutorial on how to get the perfect winged liner, but today I'm just gonna do a quick liner. And I'm just using the NYX, that's the point. This is the thickest one if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so I've lined my face, and then I'm just gonna put on mascara and my lashes off camera. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, turn the notifications button. That's what all these YouTubers say, and yes, she's the new YouTuber.